I originally just wanted to make something that wasn't really particularly an option that was already out there. There's a lot of kind of products in the market, and I thought there's no real room for just doing something that's exactly the same as out there. So originally I wanted to make, say, the EQP1A and kind of get in those important things that are really kind of important to the design and people maybe don't appreciate behind a front panel, but things like the valve power supply and things that have an effect on the sound that isn't immediately apparent, but as soon as you listen to it, you kind of hear something is different, but it's not there to see. Then with the other products, I guess it was a learning process of going along and just kind of picking things that I'd want for me personally. I mean, my background was an engineer, so this is stuff that I would design in my own head and just imagine up before even putting pen to paper and want for myself as a product, and then kind of figure out how to make it a production item. And so, say with things like the compare, all the routing options, you know, it's such a time saver. I believe that the gear should kind of just be there and not be distracting to the process of the music. So things like unplugging cables and wanting to try out varieties of different pieces of equipment just seems counterintuitive to the process of making music, which is far more important above all. So things like all the switching options and the routing just seemed like a natural way of going, okay, let's try this, and this option, and that one's best, great, let's get on with it and use this. Just to get the distractions and all the delays out of the way, which I'm sure everybody hates. That if you're going to justify something being there as a product, it either has to be a very useful product or have a very specific kind of sound to it. It has to add something, because if you're going to justify in today's workflow making the effort to use outboard, then I feel like it should have a specific character to it, and you should have that there for a good reason. Otherwise, it's just performing a function, which is, the function is easy to get with so much choice these days, but the sound is something that's, you know, unless you're adding character, then there doesn't seem a lot of point to me in equipment. Yeah, we still do pretty much everything by hand. There are some boards now, you know, which just functionally, you know, we're making so many of the compares that it makes it impossible to do everything, like assembling the PCBs for the power supply and things like that. So we're trying to, you know, move some of that stuff out to contractors, but trying to keep a close handle on it. But all of the things like the THC and the EQP1A and well, in fact, all the other products are completely 100%. Everything is through hole, by hand, just in one workshop, 90% by myself. Sounds twee, but even my father actually used to be a watchmaker for Amiga and Rolex, and he comes in and he just absolutely loves it. He just sits there and attention to detail. And